Today we'll be discussing how machine learning is a new innovative technology that will change society and bring the most social impact. As a government official, it's important that you understand how machine learning affects public and private sector. Companies like Google use machine learning technologies to implement and help prepare public policies and strategies for the coming decade. It will have impact in not only the economy, but also in medicine, business, and the products we use every day. Machine learning is a method of data analysis that automates analytical model building. It is a branch of artificial intelligence based on the idea that machines should be able to learn and adapt through experience. By experience, we mean the ability to apply complex mathematical calculations to a big set of data, over and over, faster and faster, until a robust pattern is identified. Basically, complex algorithms do the hard work of the data analysis for us. We can use computers to probe the dataset for structure, even if we do not have a theory of what that structure looks like ahead of time.
So where can we find machine learning in our daily life? We can find it everywhere. Facebook, Google, Twitter, they sound familiar and you might use them every day. Machine learning is generally used to improve their service, but there are also some other companies that adopt such technique. Pinterest uses machine learning to improve its content discovery and recommend appropriate content to users. IBM uses a machine learning technique called Watson, which has been deployed in several hospitals and medical centers in recent years. When it is demonstrated, it's appetitive for making highly accurate recommendations in the treatment of certain types of cancers. Yelp adopts machine learning algorithms to help compile, categorize, and label images more efficiently so the users can get pictures that are better classified. These are just some examples of big companies using machine learning. If we zoom out, we will find that machine learning are commonly used in 6 fields, including financial services, government, search engine, healthcare, transportation, and marketing and sales. As machine learning being generally deployed in these fields, its social impact needs to be discussed. In this video, we will focus on these 4 fields. Each social impact will be discussed with an example.
Machine learning will play an important role in the system of healthcare and change diagnostic technique in the future. According to Daniel Fackler, there are 7 possible applications of machine learning in medicine, which include things like disease identification, personalized treatment, and drug discovery. Theoretically, machine learning could improve the diagnostic accuracy and predict patients' condition precisely given enough data. According to Minhua's research predicting activities of daily living for cancer patients, he concludes from 723 cancer patients that technology-guided machine learning methods can predict patients' activity of daily living accurately. There are some obstacles that people need to overcome to adopt machine learning in healthcare widely, and data governance is one of the most pressing issues to address.
To highlight this importance, imagine a case in which machine learning is used in the ER. The data that would be input into these machines would be little bits and pieces of the patient's symptoms and would fail to account for underlying causes. Needless to say, the diagnostics may not be accurate, and in the medical field, it really matters. Though there are other examples in which machine learning has proved to be very efficient in its results, it is important for doctors to be held accountable for decisions and to simply use machine learning as a tool that guides them in the right direction.
Machine learning has become very popular in stock market prediction, and its application in this industry shows how technology can affect existing power dynamics. Many scholars think that democratization of the market increases proportionally to computerization because it can increase the social power held by its users. However, machine learning doesn't necessarily increase power equally and can instead benefit those who already have advantages. In the realm of securities trading, it's possible now to make small amounts of profit by making tiny trades at a very high speed. These trading algorithms used machine learning to determine when to buy and sell. As time went by, machine learning companies broadened the gap between their traditional peers. This method became popular and gave individuals access to powerful investment tools, but this begs a social question. Does this decentralize power or keep it at the top of the capitalist hierarchy? Sharp and savvy investors have been replaced by skilled computer scientists who build systems so powerful that they don't even understand some of the system's actions. Systems' possibly negative behavior can come in the form of crashes, such as the 2010 flash crash. The high-frequency trading industry is evidence that machine learning doesn't necessarily democratize trade.
News filtering algorithms narrow what we know surrounding us in information that tends to support what we already believe. Google is uniquely positioned to influence how users think, as the algorithm will boost certain sources over others based on how much the content the site produces, the length of the articles, when the piece was published, and even details about where users are and what browser they are using. Since users are inclined to click on the only first few results, what we see and read on Google can affect the way we think. Google search algorithm can shift voting preference of undecided voters by 20% or more, up to 80% in some demographic groups, with virtually no one knowing they are being manipulated, according to the experiment by researcher Robert and Ronald. At the time, Google said that the autocomplete algorithm wasn't an exact science. This means the sometimes unpleasant portrayals of sensitive subject matter online can affect what search results appear for a given query.
With access to vast amounts of government data, the public sector has begun utilizing machine learning in their daily operations. Too often, agencies must provide efficiency and transparency while simultaneously seeing their budget decrease. The use of machine learning has allowed public agencies to focus on targeted areas, while also freeing them of tasks pertaining to the collection and analysis of data. While this can be extremely useful, it can also turn out disastrous if guidelines aren't established. For example, law enforcement agencies use machine learning to detect areas in which crime is most likely to happen. If law enforcement agents begin to rely solely on this data, this may lead to a cycle in which they only patrol that area and as a result continue catching crime in this area at extensive rates. This data would be fed back into the algorithm, which would result in the program becoming increasingly biased towards this area. Now imagine this data was used in determining sentencing for an individual. If a criminal from that area was also poor and a minority, they would very likely receive a stricter sentence from the machine learning system that was trained on the acquired data, especially if it learned to weigh certain factors more heavily.
Ambassador. After reviewing the effects of machine learning and how it will continue to impact virtually every aspect of our lives, we ask that you push for guidelines to be established to ensure that transparency, accountability, and fairness are maintained in all the possible applications of machine learning. Being the source data will be the guiding force in what these algorithms learn. We ask that this data be representative, unbiased, and safe from attacks as possible. In cases where decisions can have major implications in either individual or populations, even proprietary machine learning algorithms and data should have to go through the oversight so as to ensure public trust. With research and guidelines in place, we believe that machine learning will be revolutionary in solving many of the problems that we face today.